All right, we're on, man. We are live.
All righty.
So we pop out my chat here so I can make sure I say what's up to everybody and we get moving. So, yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Astroworld TV. It is me, Eric, with Super Dave here in the house. We got Dan is out. So Tom has just joined. Hello, Mr. Tom.
Dan is going to see who is it? What's his name? The ventriloquist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's going to see Jeff Dunham. He's going to
Jeff
see
Dunham.
Peanut.
That's it. Yeah.
He's going to see Walter and Peanut and and all those guys.
And all
So
the other dogs.
yeah, so it should be a great I know he's gonna have a great time. I've seen Jeff Dunham a couple years ago when in Wisconsin. I went to the Wisconsin State Fair in Milwaukee
Okay.
and George just outside of Milwaukee, and he was hilarious.
He is
He is
hysterical. I think
awesome.
I saw clips
Awesome,
from that
awesome.
state fair when he was there.
Yeah.
Uh huh. Yeah, I follow him on certain
Hey, Dennis.
platforms.
What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing great. Hey, Ross, hopping in, getting things going.
Why was I the first one to press the like button, boys?
Uh-huh. See? What's
Uh
up with
huh.
that? When you're coming in, go ahead and click on that like button. Help us out. Let the folks at Google and YouTube know that we are here and we do this live every Wednesday and Friday. And yeah, I mean, help a brother out here.
And we're
Help a
not
couple
doing it for
brothers
our
out.
health. We're doing it for you guys.
Exactly. Exactly. So hope everybody's doing great this weekend. Here's Matt coming in. Um, so I just kicked off my next session of Nina. You guys know that get snow, Eric? No snow.
Uh, yeah.
No, I'm loving you know what? George is awesome right now.
Yeah, it split the difference between the two of us, I think, this last
Yeah,
storm.
yeah, yeah. So it's been pretty slick. Um, it's been in the 50s most of this week, and
Ooh,
it's supposed to
must
start
be
picking up.
rough. It's only
I know,
been
right?
today was 26 degrees, I think.
And I think it's supposed to, get maybe around in the 60s or 70s at some point next week. So it's going to be
Oh,
the wow.
nice.
It's a far cry from what I'm used to. Believe me, folks, big time. Big time difference. So yeah. Um, but like I said, I've got imaging going. I hope everybody's out there. You got some clear skies and you're able to image. And we'd love to hear about what you guys are imaging, if you're imaging anything tonight
Yeah.
or working on stuff. Hey, Corin. So yeah, so I'm still working on my Orion mosaic. So we're just kicking off. And one thing Dave and I were talking about is my Meridian flip since I'm using my Celestron AVX.
Yeah,
And
anybody who's an AVX know if you have to tick the reverse deck after flip
yeah,
in PhD too.
yeah, if you have to click on that, reverse deck checkbox, let me know. I don't think you have to. I've used it here many times and I don't think I've ever had to click it
Good.
and things
Because
are
I was saying with the Skywatchers, you do if you use a green swamp server. You don't if you use EQ mod. But my WD-20, you definitely do, or else you're in for a surprise when it flips.
so but the crazy thing is that I think I may have to, you know what I'm going to do though? What I am going to do is since it's just getting started, I'm going to stop it and I'm going to have this thing recalibrate because it's not even doing anything yet. So let me do
Recalibrate your PhD.
Yeah, yeah, let it recalibrate PhD and do this again.
Was it not good or
Yeah, no, it's off. And you know what? I think a lot of it has to do with
practicing AVX?
yeah, with the AVX. So yeah, so I think a lot of it has to do with that. And it's just ugh. So let's see if this thing will let me do this.
So you're talking about getting a new mount, but are you thinking about still getting your SIM60 fixed?
Yeah, at some point, yes, I am going to go ahead and get the Sim 60 fixed. I just have to wait until I want to find out what the moving company is going to
Yeah.
do and all that stuff before I do it. And yeah, we'll
You set up a dual rig, get yourself
yeah,
out there with two rigs at once. That's what
yeah,
I'm trying to do. I
yeah.
can't wait. This
It'll be interesting. Now, another mount that I have actually been looking at quite a bit is the Avalon mounts from Italy. They're very intriguing. Um, you can, there's like no meridian flip with the M Uno or anything like that. And I mean, they're supposed to just run and be solid mounts. I mean, you can put two scopes on these guys and do like your guide scope or a small refractor.
talking like the M0
Yeah, like
or
the M0 or the M Uno. Yeah. So but they're pricey though. But
oh,
you know, it's they look pretty cool.
63,
Pretty cool.
6340 for an M0.
Yeah. And that is that in euros or is that in US dollars?
Woodland Hills, that's US
Oh, that's US
dollars.
dollars. Okay. Yeah, Tom, they are not cheap. They are very expensive. They're about this. There's twice as much as a Sim 70 or a
But
CQ350.
they look very compact.
Yes. And you don't need to use a counterweight, or if you do need to use a counterweight, it's a very light counterweight the way it is. Um, I know Tom Bramwell from Prima Luce Lab USA, he owns an Avalon, an M Uno, I believe, and he
Boy,
loves that thing.
those Italians love their red, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They like that Ferrari. They like that Ferrari red. Yeah, no meridian flip. They are very interesting looking. I'm gonna probably when I get to Neve, spend a little time with Tom and chat with him on his take and how because he's had his for years
Yeah.
and he has not had any he's told me he's not had any issues with it. He brings it to Neve and NEAC, he puts it on display and because I've seen it the past 2 years where it's had an Edge 8 on it with the Asato LP low profile 2-inch and everything in the Arco. It's been rigged up, it's been just kitted out, and it looks really, really cool. So yeah, so Matt, definitely I'm going to catch up with the guys, going to be right next to us. Prima Luce Lab's going to be right there next to us. And so I'm going to hear it from someone who actually owns one and get his take on it.
Well, the M Uno's max capacity is only 44 pounds.
Yeah. But if you think about it, and you can put, I think, a C11 on there and an entire imaging rig on that thing.
Wow, the head weight's only 11 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
It's
it
light.
is very lightweight.
Yes.
Is it a straightway mount?
No, it's not. It's a belt driven mount. It's belts.
Wow.
The
Okay.
belt driven mount.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Oh no, that's not good. So Greg Myers just saying that he heard from Ron Breacher he's canceling coming to Neef.
Uh-oh.
So that's, because all the politics and everything. I mean, I can't blame him either. but I mean, that's too bad. I would really
because
like
of the
to see them again.
politics.
Yeah, yeah.
I
See, I
don't
can't,
get that.
yeah,
What does astrophotography have to do with politics?
nothing, but who knows? But everybody has their own, has their own take on things, and you have to now respect that. So, yeah, but if he's not going to be there, that's going to be a huge loss because I know, he's done a lot at NEAC. He does classes at NEAC and stuff like that. So yeah. Bob, hey there from downtown Phoenix. What's up? Welcome. So don't forget, this is Friday, and this is Double Vote Friday. You don't forget to vote for Image of the Week, as well as this is the last night to vote for Image of the Month. We're going to announce Image of the Month tonight as well. So don't forget to head over to astroworldweb.com/IOTW and /IOTM and check them out. Check out those images and vote for your favorite for image of the week and for our first image of the month for 2025. So, so yeah. Another thing that I wanted to let everybody know about is I have heard you guys about our chats as far as getting someone here to discuss planetary imaging. We have heard, we have listened, and I am going to deliver for you. So very soon we are working on the logistics and scheduling, but a very seasoned astrophotographer by the name of Dan Llewellyn. He has 25 years of experience in astrophotography, deep sky, and planetary. He has written articles in Sky and Telescope, and he has done talks all over here in Georgia. He's from Georgia, from Duluth, Georgia, I believe. And he has agreed. I reached out to him, and he has agreed to join us. He's going to do a presentation, and we're also going to talk about planetary, getting started, things, answer your questions and all of that stuff. I've got questions as well. I've got this Edge 8 that, it's a
Begging
Schmidt.
to do planetary.
I have to get it to do planetary. So,
You got a Barlow for it?
yep, I've got a power mate for that.
Oh,
I got a
perfect. There
power
you
mate
go.
like two. It's like a 2 or a 2.5.
Perfect. That's all. Two is
So
all you need for that, but
there's
two
all
and a
I
half's
need.
even better.
Yep, and I've got my ASI 224 MC that I use for guiding. I'll take it off of the guide scope, off of my little guide scope, and I'll put that sucker on,
I
with the
might be able to
edge.
use the 585.
I'm actually thinking of either using the 585 or I also have my 533.
Yeah.
And the 533 I've used for solar, and it said you can also use it pretty well for planetary. And I've
Yeah.
seen some
Well, anything for
planetary shots with the
solar and
533.
planetaries, you could use
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got choices. I've got options. Hey Steve, how's it going?
The 585 with the tiny pixel size though for planetary would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So I have seen in Astrobin several planetary shots with people using the 585. I have even seen them with the 533. Of course, the 224 it's been a proven planetary camera, but yeah, that 585, I really want to check it out.
Yeah, I would definitely for
I
sure.
really want to check that out. So yeah, it's but the only thing is that 585, it's a mono.
As long as you do
And
filters, you got to have a filter wheel for it.
yeah, but doesn't Jupiter, like Jupiter, for example, doesn't it move pretty fast?
It rotates pretty quick, but you're talking about taking, you know, 5 minutes each filter
Maybe, but
at what 170 to 100 frames a second,
yeah, maybe, but then don't you have to
using the
also deal with
ROI and
refocus? Don't you have to
what's
also deal with you have to deal with also you making sure you get everything refocused back and stuff like that too.
yeah, but ideally, as long as you use the same thickness of filters, the focus points should be pretty close. You may have to tweak it a little bit, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're all. I mean they're my Aunt Leah LRGBs, so they're going to be
Yeah.
parafocal. But
I
hey,
mean, most of the people that I've seen, like Dylan O'Donnell, has done some planetary stuff that he's shown on his channel,
mhm.
and he's using mono, and
Yeah,
he's using a
I know
filter
there's a lot of
wheel,
people
and
using mono. Yeah,
so you know,
I
doesn't
know a lot
seem
of
to
people that
affect
use
their
it.
images. It seems to be pretty nice. So
Yeah, nope, totally. I mean, I've got colors, I've got mono. I can go either way. I can go either or. So with this 585, I'm really intrigued though. Once I get my hands on this Altair 585.
yeah,
And right now, Mars is really high up.
yeah.
Mars is like it's over 60, maybe almost 70 degrees. It's up there right now. So you can definitely get Mars without fighting a lot of atmospheric
Atmosphere,
disturbance.
right? Yeah.
So that would be one. What about the QHY Mini Cam 8? To be honest with you, me personally, I talked to Dan about it, and I honestly don't need that, the extra little filter wheel and stuff like that, because I've already got a little, I've got an 8 slot, 1 1/4 filter wheel. And then
And you're
the
getting the
kind of
585
I'm
cooled
getting
camera
yeah,
anyway.
I'm already
So
getting a 585 sensor. But see, another thing is you may want to think about is sometimes you are going to be using the mini cam, you are going to be basically locked in to those filters, unless you decide to branch out. But with that mini cam 8, you're pretty much locked into those filters. And those filters, I believe, at least narrowband, are about 7 nanometer, which isn't bad. But I mean, you're just basically, locked into that little system there, which isn't a bad thing, especially for that price. I mean, it's like under what, $800. So yeah. So
Jackie
still
says
a
she's
very, very good choice. I mean, if you get the QHY Mini Cam 8, you're not going to be disappointed no matter what, because the 585 itself is a great little sensor. It's like a 2.9 micron, sensor. So it has tiny pixels, so you're going to get some really great detail. But it's just me.
all right. So Jackie sent me a question. She's having issues with
Uh-huh.
PhD 2. She's using her Player One Sedna for guiding, and it's all
Okay.
set up in PhD 2 with her Green Swamp server. I take darks and all is good. Then I go into Nina and I load the Player One Uranus as the imaging camera. When I open up PH2 and load the save profile, it will pick the Uranus as the guide camera and not the Sedna. So,
You can set that, can't you?
well, I think once you set up your profile in, obviously, when you go into PhD 2, it will ask you when you go to set up that profile, and you build a profile with
Mhm.
the telescope you're using, your guide scope, whatever that is, whether you're using off-axis guide or a guide scope. It'll ask you if you have the camera connected. If you do, you just hit yes. It'll detect the camera. It'll see its pixel size and all that. It'll load that in. And then once you save that, then when you go into PhD 2, and then, that's all saved as
Mhm.
that profile. And the thing with PhD 2 is once you have that in there and everything, you've selected that profile to use,
Mhm.
then once you turn PhD 2 off, the next time you start it back up, it should automatically go to that profile.
Yeah. Mhm.
So if you're in Nina and PhD 2 is off and you're in Nina and you go to connect equipment and you connect your Uranus you connect your, your filter wheel if you have that, and then your mount, focuser, and then when you get to guider, you connect, and it should connect PhD2 and automatically load that last profile you just had, which should automatically connect to your Sedna.
Yes.
That's the way it's always worked for me. So I don't know why it's not doing that for you, because obviously if you go into Nina and you connect your camera first, because that's always, the first item in Nina to connect is your camera,
Right.
because ideally you're going to connect that first and start it cooling immediately. And then by the time you get down to guider, once you click on guider and it opens PhD2, then there should be no controversy, because it should see that Uranus is not available, and it should connect to your Sedna, because your Uranus is already connected to Nina, so
Right.
it's not going to see that as even an option. And the Sedna should be the only option as long as it's set up properly in the PhD2 profile.
Yeah. Okay.
That's hopefully, Jackie, that helps you. I mean, I'd have to see what you're talking about, because I've never had an issue with it before.
So, Tom, I bought a 5-position filter wheel for my 2600 one shot, so I don't have to take apart my red count apart to change filters. Yeah. Okay. Start PhD first, then connect your guide can, then open up Nina. That's what I do. Is I will get PhD started, get it connected with my cameras correctly, and get it connected to the mount. Then I fire up Nina, and then I just simply do a connect all, and then it just goes down the list, and it just starts connecting everything else to the main camera and all that stuff.
Oh, so it's the pixel map she's talking about is wrong.
It loads the profile and tells me the dark.
The dark file, their
Have
her dark
you
library
have you
has the
just
wrong pixel pitch, and it has grabbed the Uranus 2.9 pixel instead of the 2.4.
you can
Well,
force it to do a new dark library, right?
yeah. Somehow when you created your dark library in PhD2, it used the Uranus and not your Sedna.
Yeah.
Is the only thing I
Like
can
it.
think. That doesn't make sense, though. Sometimes if you go to dark library, I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see if I have it in my. Yeah, I can't pull it up, Jackie, because I don't have anything hooked up, and I don't have my rig turned on, or else I could pull it up. Um, Give me a second. Let me go turn on my
Yeah.
my thing, and I'll tell you. Hold on.
Yep. So while he is doing that, let me just check the chat here. Um, nope, it works fine and goes crazy when you load the Uranus. It's interesting. So Tom, you've got all your Altair. So you got all your Altair filters from Dan and everything so you're ready. So you're ready to roll on that for your 2600 one shot. Let me know. Now, like I said, with Dan Llewellyn joining us, we are going to talk a lot of planetary. There's a lot of things that for me that I have a few questions about. My main one is going to be about the weather, personally, and knowing, the right weather patterns and stuff like that to keep an eye out on, and understanding that type of stuff. How do you know when is the right time? Is it the jet stream? Is it other things? Is it waiting for it to be as low as far as your humidity as low as possible or whatnot? So yeah. All right, what did you find out there, Dave?
Well, I gotta log into that computer. Hold
Okay.
on.
Um,
It's booting still. Still booting. Hold on. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Frank at SETI Astro has done some fantastic work putting out some great free scripts for PixInsight. I use his scripts religiously. I
Well,
use
he
those
built
are
a whole suite now, and
yeah. I
I guess
mean,
Quib did a whole video just using his suite once everything's calibrated, stacked, and put together.
mm-hmm.
So if you use Deep Sky Stacker, and then you can take everything from there and go right into his own suite. You don't even need PixInsight.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's cool.
Oh, why are we not?
Astrophere can be helpful to show seeing and transparency. Yeah. So I'm watching all these, I've got clear dark sky, I've got astrospheric, I've got windy, I've got medio blue. So it, I have just not had very much success with planetary. And it could be the weather, it could be just the focusing, who knows, but every time I have tried, it's almost like I've wasted an entire night just trying to get something going. So again, don't forget to head over to astroworldweb.com and vote for the image of the week and the image of the month. It is the last Friday to vote for image of the month if you haven't had that yet. I think we've got close to 90 votes so far for image of the month, which is fantastic. Take a quick look here. I want to see where we are at as far as that. I'd be very curious to know. YOP poll.
Why can I not connect to my computer?
Yeah, 91. So far, we're at 91 votes for the experience bracket for image of the month. So thank you. And we only have 25 votes. What's up with this? Only 25 votes for image of the week. Or maybe I'm looking at the wrong. Am I looking at the wrong? Nuts. I think I messed something up here. Yeah, but 25. And see here.
Something's going on. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So yeah, it's only 25. So get out there and vote, everybody. Let's take a look and see here. Oh, it's not. Oh, no, I didn't do anything wrong. Just maybe a little goof up on the back end, but nothing out on the web page itself. So not a big deal. So it's a good thing. So while Dave is doing that, and I am going to bring this back up. Steve says, Mark one eyeball. If stars are twinkling like mad, don't bother. Steady skies are not the key. Steady skies are the key, not transparency. Excuse the spilling mistakes. So if the stars are twinkling like crazy, don't bother. You got to have steady skies. Understood. Not that so the transparency's, not the key. It's basically it's your seeing. So got it. So also don't forget if you have anything you would like to share within the group, within to Astroworld TV, don't forget we have our sign up sheet. You can go to the website astroworldweb.com and go to the TV area. There's a sign up sheet, a Google sheet. We definitely love to have you guys any of you on, share your expertise on a particular subject, just fill out the sheet and we will reach out to you. My excuse is what, hey, we appreciate you hanging out this early, this late, or rather this early in your case there, Steve. So thank you. Yeah, yeah, you're up in Baltimore or in the Maryland area, right, Jackie? So I can imagine, seeing has been horrible for you up there and up on the northeast coast. So so while I've been hunting for a new mount, I've also been, doesn't your Uranus measure seeing? I don't believe it measures seeing. I do not believe so. I'd have to double check. I actually have to find it. After this move, I have not had a chance to actually, I haven't found it. But we had somebody was asking about my Uranus, and how, they were going to mount it and stuff like that. And I was just going to share how I have, if I had my Uranus here, I would show you, but I actually just use my DSLR tripod. I have a Z mount here, a flexible Z mount, and there is an actual um, screw back bolt on the back of the Uranus, so you can actually remove the cover, and you can then mount you can actually mount it, the Uranus Medio, you can mount it onto a tripod just like this. So that's what I actually use. I actually just cut my, the little backing just to open up so I can have the little opening for the bolt, and just mounted it onto the back of my DSLR mount. And that's basically what I'm doing. It makes it nice and easy, steady, and just set it up in my pod. Whenever I get my pod set up, I'll be doing that and it'll stay out there. But the one thing you definitely want to make sure of is that if you don't have an observatory or some sort of enclosure, like myself, like a sky shed pod or a roll-off roof, don't leave it outside. That's happened to me, and I've learned that you don't want to leave it outside. You just basically want to get your measurements, for your imaging. And it is also a cloud sensor, so kind of like a cloud sensor. So it'll let you know when it's cloudy, because you can actually look through the Unity software and it'll tell you when it's, if it's starting to pick up clouds. But you really don't want to keep it outside overnight or anything, or over a long period. So just a heads up on that. Or if you do, take it off as soon as you're done for with your session at, that very next morning, immediately when you're, closing up everything on your scope, bring that sucker back in and get it back inside.
Okay, well, it's not allowing me to log into my thing
Oh,
over here.
okay.
I got something going on with my network. I don't know what. I don't know what. It's something with a network issue. I probably need to do something under here. Let's try this.
See.
Let's see what happens here if I use this.
All right. 4.5, Tom. That is my border reading with my Uranus, 4.5. So that's why, and when I was in Illinois, it was at a Bortle 6. So, a nice change there. So when I first got out here, I was lucky enough when I was before we moved, it was a new moon. And so I was able to come out here at night and check it out. And yeah, and it came up as a 4.5. So that was one of the reasons I was like, yeah, this is the right spot. So I think we lost Dave here. I think he'll probably come. I'm sure he'll come back on. I'm not sure if there's something up with his computer or not. We're Bortle buddies. All right, Matt. Same as mine. 4.2 was my best. So okay. So you know, when I saw that Bortle reading, I just smiled. That was all. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I just smiled. Um, so speaking of Bortle, I would like to know who has the darkest skies in our group here. I'd be really curious to know. Share with me your latest Bortle sky reading. I'd be curious to know who has the darkest sky because if you've got the darkest sky, we want to have a star party over at your place. I'll I'll pack up all my gear and I'll load up the RV and I'll head down to your place. Swiftwater's at a 6. Okay. All right. So we already said that, Tom and I are at that Bortle 4, 4.5, 4.2 area. So be curious to see if anybody's lower. Who's in the threes? I want to know if somebody's in the threes or even in the twos. Say, what's up? And no, Starfront doesn't count. George, Bortle 2. All right. He's winning so far. Yes, you have to make sure the lens cap's off. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. You're never gonna let me live that down, are you, man? Yes, take the lens cap off. That is for sure. What in the world? Yeah, hopefully Dave's computer's all good because he is offline. Exactly. But we're definitely gonna take a road trip to George's, you know. See here. Could have sworn my Uranus was around here somewhere, but I may have, like I said, it may have been packed up. But I don't think so because I had it with me before when I was down here before I moved. So my office is a mess right now. So yeah, he's resetting his network. Okay, all right. So you guys should come to AstroCon 2025 in Bryce Canyon in June, Utah. I'm sure that must be amazing to go. Those guys must be amazing in Utah. I mean, Bryce Canyon, Zion, Canyonlands, it must be crazy good. I'm sure I can find this around here somewhere. It's okay. I'll find it. It's not that hard. It's pretty close. It's close by. So, Astrocon 2025 in Bryce Canyon. I will have to take a look into that. But this year is also my Robin and I's 20th wedding anniversary year. So let him in. Dave's back. He's coming back. So I don't know if Robin is gonna want to come to go to a star party with me. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, I totally. I pulled my computer out and it unplugged everything.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh man.
That was a debacle.
Yeah.
Hey, now I'm in it. Now I'm in my.
Now you're in, huh?
Yeah, I'm in now.
There you go. That's what matters.
Yeah. Come on, load up. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so here, let me. I'll share my screen.
I have an idea for a show. Can you help me build a sequence for Nina from scratch?
Yeah,
Sure.
I can do that.
We can do that.
Real simple,
We can
but
do that really simple.
let
Yeah.
me share my screen. How do I do that on here? How do I? Share screen. Here it is.
Hey, Wilfredo. Hey, never too late, my man. Never too late. I'm glad you made it.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yep.
Can you see my desktop there?
Yep. We got it.
All right. So this is the Quieter 4C. I'm going to pull up Nina.
All right.
Nice aurora there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not
Must
take
be.
that picture.
Yeah, that must be like in Greenland.
That's somewhere where there's a lot of snow and ice.
There's a lot of snow and ice. Yep, using the advanced scheduler, absolutely.
Yeah, I can do that. That's simple.
Yeah.
All right. So come on, Nina. Load, baby, load.
Tom says it looks like his driveway.
Looks like your driveway. Oh,
I guess
all
all
the
the
snow
ice.
and ice.
All the
Yeah.
snow and
Well,
ice.
it looked like my driveway a couple weeks ago, but I still got one. There's still some snow out there in the cul-de-sac.
Hey, Billy, it's happening. Glad you can make it. For those who haven't done it yet, don't forget, first off, I want you guys to do a few things for me. One, give this video a thumbs up. When you're hopping into YouTube, don't forget, do a quick thumbs up on the video. We really appreciate that. It costs you nothing. Just a click of the mouse. You're already clicking your mouse, already doing other stuff anyway. Just go ahead and click it in the thumbs up. Also, don't forget, if you haven't yet, this is the last night for image of the month. So head over to astroworldweb.com/IOTM to go to the image of the month, or IOTW if you haven't voted for image of the week yet. And so you're in your very unstable nightly build of Nina.
Unstable. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
definitely do. So 3.2 nightly is what I use.
Yes, your nightly unstable version.
All right. So you can see my Nina, right?
Yeah.
All right. So first thing I do, camera. It's still looking. God, I don't know what the latency's going on in here. Oh, it's loading the programs.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Now it should come up. All right. So camera, turn on. Typically, I would just start cooling it, get everything ready. Filter wheel, turn on.
Why don't you don't do it like just a connect now? Connect everything down at the bottom?
I could, but I like to go through each one.
Sure. No, it's totally progress.
Focuser, that's EAF, so we'll connect that. And then mount, on step, connect. And my mount is, come on, connect.
And this is your MD20?
Yeah, WD20.
WD20.
Yeah. All right. So now if I go into Guider and I connect it, it's going to pull up PhD2. It's going to come up on the screen.
It's going to load your profile, isn't it?
So now because
Was not
Yeah,
able
so
to.
it failed to connect. So yeah, so because I haven't used it with this yet. So we're gonna go through this right here. So we'll hit next. And it's gonna ask me what kind camera. So I've got the 174. So I'll just go down to ZW ASI camera.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera is connected. So I'll hit yes. Could not connect to camera. Why? It should. It's connected. It'll tell me that it is connected.
Big Bend, Texas, huh, Dennis? I say I'm always up for a road trip. It's got to, convince the wife. But if she's down for it, hey.
So, all right. So new using wizard.
Yeah.
ZWO. That's what I've got. It is connected. Is the camera already connected to the PC? Yes.
Are you sure it's connected?
Yeah, positive. It says it's not though.
Yeah. Maybe check, man, I'm not sure. Maybe check
Let me go look.
Astron
Let me
real
go look.
quick.
Hold on one second.
Yeah. But Big Bend in Texas is known as one of the most outstanding places in North America. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've been over to when I was in New Mexico, I went actually to the Cosmic Campground just out in the Gila National Forest, and that's Portal One as well, and it was absolutely amazing. Oh, I see. It's popping up all these, excuse me, all these errors and stuff like that. So, what is going on? You lost your focuser there, Dave, and you lost your camera. Have you turned it off and back on again? That's what I always ask, me being in the IT department. Have you turned it off and back on again? So hopefully you'll be able to figure that out. Tequila? You jinxed him.
All right. Yeah, it says it's connected. Let's see. New ASI. Yes, it is. All right. So I don't know what's going on. There's something going on.
There is something not right.
Yeah, something is jacked, which I don't understand because I've never had an issue with it. And this is the one thing I didn't really set up. So just make sure this is all right. That's all right. Yeah, don't know. That's puzzling.
Isn't it always the way?
Yeah, it always works that way.
You know. Tom, it's time to get out the ASI air.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Tom.
Oh man.
I will never, ever, ever. Yeah. So even if I don't get that. So, and it keeps
Is
closing.
what happens if you run your diagnostic, your ASCOM diagnostic?
Oh, Well, actually, what I could do is I can go back into Nina, and I can go up to camera
Yeah, see
and
if it's there.
disconnect that, and then see if it shows up.
See, it's not showing up.
Well, let me research.
Maybe you got a maybe all of a sudden the bad cable.
Guess it's possible. Interesting.
Bad cable all of a sudden.
I just switched the cable actually,
Hmm.
but that's interesting.
Altair could not start pull mode. What's your guide camera?
Oh, because not start pull mode. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah,
because
that's your
I mean,
Altair.
it'll pull up now.
Yeah.
Oh no, now that's not even connecting.
No, it says it's connected.
And then it goes in. It could not start pull mode.
Oh dear.
Oh shit! I don't know. Something with this damn PC. I bet if I reboot it, I wonder if that'll help. If I reboot the PC, it'll all come back. And I
Yeah.
had this problem with my when I had this problem with my Nightcrawler.
Okay.
It was acting all wonky, and sure enough, all I had to do was reboot the PC, and everything came back to life. And it was like, so let me reboot it real quick and see what happens.
Yeah.
If it comes
Give it a
back.
shot. How are you remote connecting into it? Are you using remote desktop or are you using
Yeah, remote desktop. Yeah, through my PC, through the network.
Okay.
So I think it's just because I didn't have the camera hooked up initially when I started it. It didn't. It didn't set the driver properly. So that's probably
Gotcha.
what happened.
Yeah. George is saying you need an Eagle 6.
Yeah, I already have an Eagle 4 or Eagle 5 that I use on my other rig. I figured I'd go the melee route for the second rig, and I had it all set up and I was working with it the other day, but I didn't have the guide stuff set up, and I'm glad I'm working with that now because I totally forgot about making sure to get all that set up at the same time.
Gotcha.
So I kind of dropped the ball.
Just let you know, I did my Meridian flip there, Dave, and yeah, and didn't have to worry about deck.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's still going. So
that's good. So
yeah.
and it's so yeah. So yeah, some mounts you don't have to worry about, but
yeah.
Green Swamp server, if you're using Skywatcher, you have to, they say, and with my WD-20, you have to.
Gotcha.
But it's funny because, like with Green Swamp server with Skywatcher mounts, you don't have to do that in EQ mod.
But you don't need EQ mod anymore if you're using Green Swamp, right?
Correct. But EQ mod, you don't have to tick the reverse deck in PhD2, where if you're using Green Swamp server,
you do.
Yes.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Speaking of Skywatcher, I was watching a video today on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Because they have their, they do their webcast and stuff like that. But I decided to look at this old webcast. Maybe it's about a year or two old. And I was looking at their Mac Newt. They have a Sky, I want to say, is it a Sky Max 190 MN? It's a Maxitoff Newtonian, and it's supposed and it has like 1,000mm focal length. Excuse me. It has 1,000mm focal length, 108, 100. So it's just shy of 8 inches. It was about maybe 7 inches. But I went on the Astroband and looking at some images, and this 190 MN Mac Newt, it shows those images are pretty freaking sweet.
Really?
Yeah, they are really, really cool looking. I mean, So I was like, maybe I should go. Maybe they'll have one of those at Neef that I can just take a quick look at. Be
Interesting.
interesting. Matt says it's a cool little scope. I was talking with Kevin about it last year at Neef. So maybe they'll have it again. It's just and for the price, it's not a bad price either. I think it's like $2,100. And it's a flat field, no coma. They say it's almost the perfect imaging setup as far as optical setup for imaging. So it's got me intrigued. It's like one of those things that make you go, hmm. This actually, George, it's a f5.9, if I'm not mistaken. This Mac Newt, it's a 5.9. So it's not that high. It's actually pretty fairly quick. You almost bought it last year, but went with the SkyMax 180 instead. Just about what scope? I was talking about the Mac Newt 190 MN from Skywatcher. Um if I can find it here, I'll share. Let me just go back here. It's the Starlux. It's called the Starlux 190 MN.
I see what's going on.
Oh, you found it, huh?
Well, I see what
You see what's happening, huh?
I
So
don't have the driver
it's
for the
not on there.
ZWO camera.
Now do it. So let me see here. If I share my screen. So here it is. This is what I was talking about. This Starlux 190 Mac Newt. It's an f5.3 focal ratio, 1,000 millimeter focal length, which is great. So you can grab galaxies, you can get some, decent nebulae. It's corrected for APS-C imaging for imaging sensors for those types of cameras. You got cooling vents. Yeah, near perfect Mac Newt optical design. No coma corrector or field flattener needed. So if we understand here in the back, when I was looking at this, you remove these two screws and then you can actually hook up a fan to this guy to help it with cooling. Um, so it looks pretty interesting. The only thing that chaps me about this is why, for the love of Pete, something this size, why would you put a Vixen dovetail on this? Seriously. Why would you put a Vixen dovetail on this? Don't you think you need little bit more stability with something that it looks like this size? I would. It's just me. Maybe I'm just Los Mondi dovetail biased, but it would just seem to me that it would make much better sense that this would be on a D style dovetail versus a V. But that's just me. But but other than that, like I said, it looks really cool. So we got a half an hour before we show who's winning the image of the month. So let's stop sharing here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's 30 pounds. So it's not the lightest, that's for sure. But but for me, I just don't understand why they make that a V. Why they use a V dovetail on that. It's not like you couldn't swap it out and put in a D. It's just why not just have it as a D right off the bat? Especially if it's that weight. When you get to a certain weight, I think it just warrants something like that. You can get some decent rings and a dovetail for it. Yeah, I know, but you've already shelling out 2,100, 2,200 bucks. I mean, you would think it would just come with that type of stuff. But anyway, I had a Meade Mac Nude back in the day, a great scope. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hearing. That's what's got me intrigued about it, is that it's got this great optical design that's, supposed to be fantastic, especially for imagers. So I really want to check that out. More metal, more money. Yeah, I get it, Greg. It's just that's not a lot of metal, though. I mean, you're just talking about a dovetail and some rings. So that's just me. But anyway, so that is one that I'm definitely like to see or have an opportunity to take a look at while I'm at NEAF. If I'm hoping they'll have it again so I can take a look at it while I'm taking a look at, what could possibly be my future mount, which will be the CQ350. Now that pretty much all the bugs are worked out of it. So you installing the drivers
Uh,
now there, Dave?
yeah.
Okay.
So I think I got it. I
All right.
think we're gonna find out. We are gonna find out.
Oh yeah, those mead sales from High Point, because High Point bought
Oh yeah, there it
everything.
is.
You got it now, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard I have actually because me being a pod owner, I'm a part of the pod owners group, and a gentleman just got a 14-inch AC ACF Mead Schmidt for a song. I mean, it was a crazy good deal. If I can find it here, I'll let you know, but it was really, really good. Um, yeah, let me see here. Yeah, 14-inch LX 200 ACF. Got it for 5,400. That's really good for that size.
Eight. What size?
14
Oh, jeez.
for 5,400. That is a darn good deal. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more and more deals coming out.
All right.
So, let's
Spec.
see.
There we go. Focal length 190.
You definitely don't want to put, that Mac Newt on an AVX. But I would think that would be okay with a maybe an EQ6. An EQ6 you're able to handle that. Should be able to handle that even with its own optical with the imaging trained and everything. I would think it would be able to handle that because all the extra stuff you're talking what maybe another 6 pounds, maybe seven. So
It's going to tell me to build a. All right. So, all right. I got it to work.
all right.
Now it's going to tell me to build a dark library.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So now you just build your dark library and all that stuff.
yeah. So let me gonna cancel that out.
Yeah, that you can get some great deals on some meads right now from High Point. So
Yeah, because they bought up everything, right?
they bought up everything from Mead and Orion, that whole auction bit. Excuse me, High Point bought them out, bought everything. So yeah.
Interesting. Curious why.
So I'm looking here really quick, just out of my own for my own sake and curiosity. Some of this stuff, if you go to their website, I'm pretty sure it's been some. They've got some really good deals going on right now. Yeah, like an 8-inch ACF for 21. But I gotta skim through the rest of this stuff later on just to take a look. But for sure, they've got some pretty darn good deals. A lot of the stuff is already, of course, is sold out. But I mean, if you can grab it, get it while you can. Get it while it's hot, because this stuff is moving fast. Let me tell you, people are not sitting on their hands for this stuff. They are moving. And the good thing is like even what Dylan mentioned, you don't have to worry about dealing with all of the mess of dealing with an auction house and the transport and all that stuff. You know, High Point's taking care of all of it for you. So it's got to be, a bit of a bump there.
Oh, I'm such a dope.
Dude, it happens, man. Stuff happens.
There we go. Now we're working it.
All right. Now you ready to share your screen now?
Just a second, I will.
Okay.
Yep. And cut. Let's make sure this works. Camera list. Okay.
Jackie was asking, is your imaging camera in your guides and your guide camera or your guide scope the same manufacturer?
For me, no.
Yeah.
I use a Altair camera for my guide camera. I mean, for my main camera, and then I use the ZW174 for my imaging camera.
For your guide camera. You want
Oh
74?
yeah, for my guide camera, correct. Yeah.
Because Jackie's saying that's where the problem lies for her. Is so you're using both a player one
But are you
imaging and a
using
guide
native drivers or are you using ASCOM
ASCOM
drivers?
drivers.
Because if you're using the ASCOM drivers, there could be a conflict there. That's the only thing I can think of. But but Player One has their own native drivers that PhD2 and Nina should be able to shouldn't have any issues with those.
Yeah.
I know that's with I always use the native drivers, which I did not have loaded for either. That's why I was having an issue.
Yeah.
because with ZWO you can download just the driver.
Right.
Altair, to get the drivers, you download what they call Altair Capture, and it's
Hmm.
their own separate capture software,
Yep.
but it includes all their drivers
Other
and
drivers.
everything's already on there. So
Jackie said that's where my issue lies. If I use two different manufacturers, it's no problem.
oh, really? So
I'm using their native driver, she thinks. Are these player one? Is this player one or is it
player one, yeah, that's what she was saying.
okay?
So I literally have no, you know, I've never used player one. So for me, that's, but I mean, I've used ZWO, both ZWO cameras for both,
Hmm.
and never had a problem either.
I never had a problem either. I would be able to go in and check, and select what's my guide camera versus what is the imaging camera. Right there in
Correct.
PhD,
Yeah.
you can choose between the two.
Yeah. I've never had a problem with one or the other
Yeah.
conflicting.
Let's see here.
All right. Let's see what happens now. Okay, 533. It should turn. Ah, there we go. No push fault that time.
There you got it.
All right, let's go into PhD2. And let's see, it should come up. And guide connected, yes. And it is connected to my equipment. So,
There you go.
yeah, so I'm just curious if it's has to do with the drivers for the player one. Do you have a different guide camera, Jackie?
Because she said if she used a different manufacturer, she doesn't have this problem. So
Yeah, I think you got to talk to somebody who's used player one stuff
yeah,
because I never have. So um, that kind of throws me through a loop.
gotcha.
So, but I will share my screen. And can you see me?
Yep, I see it now.
All right. So somebody was talking about advanced sequencers and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, ideally, I've shown this before, I'm sure. But if I go in here and I say, let's bring up, well, let's just do M42. So it's simple. Okay. And then I can hit set for framing. This is going to
Yep.
be with the 533. This is going to be a nice little square. See, that doesn't even.
Nope.
I'd have to do a mosaic.
Yeah.
But let's just say we're going to get the meat of it.
Yep.
But I would go to add target to sequence, and then I'm going to use the legacy takes you to the old school one. But if you go sequencer, I have things set up already where it's deep sky, instruction set, basic, narrowband, or one shot color. So I always use narrowband, so I'm going to go with that. And it takes me right to the sequencer.
But
Now
here's the question. Don't mean to cut you off here, Dave, but here's the
yeah.
question I think he'd ask me. Like from scratch.
Okay.
So
All right. So
would
from
you build a
scratch.
if you're doing it from scratch, would you start off with a template first?
Well, this is a template for now. So, but what I could do is what I'll do is I'll just trash that. So this is what the sequencer is. Okay. So you have your templates here. I have some already created that you can create. but you're going to get the default ones already. So obviously your default ones you're going to do start with your basic sequence startup. You're going to bring it up to the top where it says to place your startup. Obviously you're going to cool your camera to whatever temperature and whatever, time duration, and usually 15 minutes or so for me is what I do. And then you're going to unpark your scope. If you really want to, you can actually go, if you like want to set this up during the day and you know that, well, maybe I'm setting this up at 2 in the afternoon, but I won't be around when I want it to start. You can always go into instructions, come down to utility, say you're setting this up and you're going to go out, and you can hit wait for time, and you can actually put this above everything, and you can hit, okay, so you're setting this up at 2 in the afternoon. Say you want it to start at 9 o'clock. So it's 2100.
Yep.
Okay. So now when you get everything set up, you press play, you can walk away, and at 9 o'clock, it's going to start, and it's going to start your cooling your camera. It's going to unpark your scope. If you download the connector app, you can go to instructions here, and then you can hit connect all your equipment, and it will connect all your equipment as well.
Yep.
So, and all your equipment will connect at the same time that it's doing that. So you've started, you've gone out to dinner with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, and you're doing your own thing. And at 9 o'clock, your camera's cooling, you've unparked your scope, and all your stuff is connected.
Yep.
Okay. From there, typically what I do, then I'll go back to templates and I'll do my end, and I'll drag my end sequence down in that area. And that would be basically warm the camera, park the scope, and then I'll go back to connector and hit.
You just passed it. There you go.
Yeah, and then I'll hit disconnect. I'll put that below everything. So it'll do this all together, and then once it's done doing that, it'll disconnect all the equipment after that.
Yep.
So actually, in fact, for connect all equipment, you'd probably want to put that right there. So at that time, it will connect all your equipment before it starts to cool and do all that.
Yep, makes sense.
And then after that, you're going to go to templates. Now you have narrowband sequence, narrowband target, So if I hit narrowband target, I just drag that in here, and then you have all your stuff going on. So you obviously are going to put meridian flip under exposure in your triggers. Obviously your target's going to depend on what your target is. It'll show up where everything's going to happen. Meridian flip's the first thing in any of your triggers. You're going to put meridian flip there. And then your instructions under that, you're going to slew and center, run an autofocus if you choose to do that. When I'm doing narrowband, I'm always, obviously everything's going to slew and center on the luminance filter because I'm just looking for a star field. I'm not going to worry about turn to HA. So sometimes what I'll do is, instead of running an autofocus here, I might change the filter to whatever so my first filter is going to be HA. I'll just switch the filter after it slews and focus, and I'll put that to HA. Then I'll run the autofocus. It'll start guiding. Whether you want to force calibrate or not, you can turn that on or off. If I haven't calibrated, or if I've got a fresh setup and just finished polar aligning recently, then maybe I would force it to calibrate. It's never a bad idea. Just depends on where the target is in the sky. If it's too low, you're not going to get a great calibration. But if it's high enough, you'll get a decent calibration. And then after that, in your narrowband sequence part here, you're going to have your autofocus after a certain HFR increase. It's going to sample 10 images, and it's going to autofocus if it sees a 5% increase in your HFR readings. Some scopes are worse than others. In fact, like when I use like my GT80, I bumped this to 7% because it's much more effective because it's made out of metal. Where the Carbon Star hardly ever autofocus, hardly ever has any change, and the 127 because it's carbon fiber as well. So there's not a lot of flexure in the tube to where it affects temperatures don't affect it that much.
Gotcha.
More so with the metal bodied tubes, you have that effect. And then I do autofocus after filter change. And then after that, you come down to your smart exposures and you set your how many exposures you want for how long. So, if I get 6 hours, I'll do, 24 at 5 minutes each. I'll bin them. I set the default gain's already in from where I set up my camera initially. And then HA, and then typically 5-minute subs, I'll dither every 2 frames. And that way I get enough dithers in to where I can drizzle my data properly and everything looks good. And you set that up for each one of your filters. And that's pretty much it. Now, a lot of, where I get these templates, and I can tell you, like I've told many people, you can go to
Patriot Astro.
This site right here. Yeah, let me pull them up. Patriot Astro. There you go, Patriot Astrophotography. And he will give you these advanced sequence downloads for free. And you can pick the ones you want based on what you're looking at. And ideally, what you want to do is click on this video and watch his video. And he'll explain how he's designed them and everything like that. And you get, he's gone crazy. He's got, mono LRGB template, SHO template, which these are the 2 I use the most. Actually, those are basically the only 2 I use. He's got offsets and everything like that for using autofocus and everything. I've abandoned offsets. I find that they're just not reliable enough for me. But all these are really good to have. And basic end templates, those, and you just download them. And if you watch the video, he'll show you when you download them where to put them in your Nina. It's simple, and he's when it comes to Nina, this guy is a genius, and he gives you all this stuff for free. And if you want to support him, you can just go and you can go on his, and you can do like I've done, and you can buy stuff from him. Like I've got my sweatshirt that I bought from him, and I got a coffee mug that I bought from him, and all the stuff goes to help his channel and help his daughter. I guess his daughter has an issue where she suffers from some kind of rare disorder that she's in pain a lot. So, but he's really, really, really good. And, he's the guy to watch. That's how I learned all the stuff I learned on Nina. And once you start figuring it out, and once you watch his videos and you see and you start using these, oh my God, it's like riding a bike. You'll never forget. It's so simple. And like I said, once, so when I go into here and I can set for framing, It's just a matter of just clicking, narrowband target, and it's in there.
Yeah.
So see, I already set something up. So if I already had a target that I wanted to do early in the night, and then figured, well, that's going to set here. I want to do something that's going to be later so I can go all night. Then you just find something else that's going to go through the other half of the night, and you click on it and put it in there. And now that's your second set. And you just set up your times and everything like that for your exposures, and it just puts it in the middle between your start and your end, and then when it's done, it's ended.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I want to share my screen here real quick here, Dave.
Yeah, let me get out.
Yes, get out.
Get out. Go ahead.
All right, so let me just go ahead and share my screen here. And share. Now, let me know when you see my screen here.
I see.
Okay, cool. So Jackie, I don't know if this you had mentioned, by the way, how do I turn off the HFR numbers on your image?
Oh, yeah.
One thing you might want to double check is
Annotate.
if you go under your options and then go to imaging, take a look under your image options and see if the annotate image is on. And if it's on, you want to go ahead and turn it off.
Yeah, that'll take care of that.
And that should take care of that as far as that goes. Now I have, like Davis mentioned, I have
Liberty, how'd you get in here, buddy? Come here.
I have also gone to Chad's website, Patriot Astro's website, and I have downloaded a lot of his information, a lot of his templates. But one thing that I am going to pop over here and mention is you can go to, when you go to his website, one thing that I found very helpful is how he explained how to create artificial horizons or your artificial horizons. So there's a way to do that. You can download or purchase a piece, an app if you have an iPhone. I think it's even for Android too, called Theodolite, which is a surveying app. And he shows you how to do everything as far as capturing the data, transferring it, putting it into a text file, manipulating certain things, cleaning things up so you can create a horizon file, which is what I have right here, which is, and it's going to end up being an HRZ file.
Yeah.
And once you have that information, once you have that, it helps out a tremendous bit, especially when you're planning.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I go to my framing here, and I just scroll down here at the bottom. I don't know how well you guys can see this.
You can see the lines of your horizon.
But God, right here, based off of my information, it shows my horizon lines or the obstructions around my horizon that are that affect my skies, which is basically trees, the house, whatever. And one thing that is very cool is when you are doing planning is to know when your target gets to a certain altitude.
Yeah.
It gets below a certain altitude, because then this way you can even plan on, like Dave mentioned, maybe that second image of the night, that second sequence of the night.
Yeah.
You can plan on if this particular target, and if you just click on this guy and I scroll, you can see the X and the Y.
Yeah.
The Y area is the degrees, the altitude of that target, where the X is the time.
The time in which it's going to reach
that period. Yeah, where it's going to reach that altitude. So this way you can plan to say, all right, I'm looking at M42 right now, as you can see. So if I wanted to say, I want to stop it imaging at, once it reaches, say, 20 degrees. So I'll scroll down here until it gets to 20 degrees. So 20.32. So that's telling me
12:30.
It's 12:30 at night in the morning. So it's just 12:30 in the morning. So if there was anything else that I was interested in capturing
that you potentially get another 5 hours
exactly.
of
I can
data.
then
Yeah.
select another target based off of this horizon information and then add that as another target
Yeah.
To my sequence.
Yeah.
One other thing that I'm not sure if I go to my sequencer,
Yeah.
see my
Yeah.
sequencer.
You can do a loop condition
You can
and
do loop conditions. You
loop it
can,
till 12:30,
yes.
and
So
then after that, then it'll go to the next
yeah,
instruction,
as a
which will
matter of
be
fact, I can show you that.
slew and center to somewhere else. You
Yes.
know,
So for me, since I'm doing a mosaic, I'm telling it to once it gets done, it's
11
working
of
in number
12.
12 right now.
Yeah.
So then it's going to go to my next panel.
Panel. Correct. Yeah.
So, and I just want to make sure here.
It's a good thing you turned that loop
Yeah, so I
off.
turn that off, or else it is
You
damn
were
glad I
getting
caught
ready to
it.
start looping that
Yeah, it's going to
again.
start looping. But here, like you can see, it's going to go to my next one. But say if I wasn't doing a mosaic, but it was another target,
Yeah.
then my next target would be below this first target, which is
Right.
in this case is this panel.
Right.
And then now it's going to scroll down to my next panel. I check everything out. And see, for me, I build out templates and I set up one particular template. See, right now
Oh, now it's going to your next target.
now it's going to my next target.
Oh, your
And
plate
it's
cell
actually
failed
doing a robocopy of all the data from that one, and it's moving over
to your other computer.
to my other computer.
Yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and minimize that.
Your plate cell
So
failed though.
yeah, so it's checking. I'll close that. And now it's syncing and then it'll slew because here is Orion's belt.
Yeah.
So it'll grab that right now.
Now, are you plate solving in the HA? You are, aren't you?
It shouldn't. It should have flipped. Yeah, it's switching filter now.
Oh, okay. All right. And now it's going to refocus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's
So now it's going to refocus and everything, and
it'll take your next panel.
then
And
it'll
how many
start.
panels are you doing? 4?
Four panels.
Okay.
So I'm doing 4 panels. Now on my last panel, because I came across an issue, excuse me, with it grabbing some bad data, I then reset panel 4, which is the last panel,
Yeah.
to go to just loop until it reaches a certain altitude.
Okay. Yeah.
Once it reaches that 20 degrees in altitude,
It'll
it's
stop
going to stop.
and park and cool and warm
And
the
yeah, then
camera.
it'll go down.
Or you just need to find another target to go
or you find another
to.
target. Exactly.
Let's
And in
find
my,
you another target you can do later
I
tonight.
can do it. I can do it exactly. And in this case, once it's done, it'll do a robocopy, which is basically it's copying the data from my Nina computer, from my Astro computer.
Yep.
It's copying it to my computer here at my in my office. So that way, I have the data already here so I can work on it. But then at the end, I also have a shutdown sequence where I can have it do this robocopy, but this is by default, this is a standard one.
Yep.
So at any of my other sequences, I wouldn't do what I'm doing right now with the robocopy in the mosaic. At the end of a session, complete session, it would do the robocopy at that time. But anyway, but it would park my scope, it would switch my filter back to luminance, and it will warm the camera and do everything else, and then it's done. Now, one thing I didn't do, but now
is there a reason you
out,
switch your filter back to luminous when you end?
No, there's not.
I was just curious because
yeah, it's just a personal preference.
I just know every time I typically start my Nina and hook up the filter wheel, it automatically goes to slot 1.
Yeah, it goes to your slot. Yep. So it just, for me, I just do it right off the bat. It's just my preference. But yeah. So one thing I am going to do is here is under my instructions. I think I may have the connector under instructions. No, I'll have to download that at
Yeah,
some.
it's a plug-in.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Disconnect
Disconnect all equipment.
all
Yeah,
equipment. So,
yeah.
so yeah, so disconnect all equipment. So
But you
there.
have to put that down below. Pull that
Yep.
down below. So
Yep. So
grab
that's
it and pull it down.
yep, and there it is. So it's going to disconnect all my equipment, and then everything will be done for
Right,
for,
but
for
these are done in parallel. So see how it says done in parallel? You need to pull this disconnect all equipment
I
outside
just
of
put that
that
down
box.
outside of it. Yep.
Yep,
Yep. You're right.
outside of that box. There
Yep.
you go.
I'll just
Right
drag it right
there.
here,
Yep, yep. And
and then
there. So these will be
then
all done in parallel. Once they're done, it'll disconnect
yep.
all your equipment.
Exactly.
Because you don't
Exactly.
want to disconnect all your equipment while you're doing all the while your marks while your mount's parking. It'll go.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna scroll back up here now and come on. Come on now. Get on up here. It's probably doing all kinds of stuff. Okay. So here under my instructions, so I will add on another set of instructions here. Instructions, connect all equipment. Oh, instructions.
If you go up top on the
And then,
right,
yeah,
right up there, yeah,
there.
yeah, perfect.
So then it'll connect everything. So
Yeah.
that's good. Now, one thing is that also if you wanted to just have a basics startup and shut down template, you can do that. You can clear all the other stuff out and just have your triggers for your startup and your end sequences. Have that done. And if you wanted to, then you can start throwing everything, building other imaging templates and just throw it in the mix.
That's correct.
So you can do all that stuff.
So,
But
and then when you're done, and once you have a template made for whatever you're shooting, and you want to do, and you plan on this is going to take more than one night, you just go down to the bottom where it says load complete file. Show them down, go where that one
yeah,
save complete sequence to a new
yep,
JSON, and
yep,
it'll save it, and you can type it in, and then once you and type in whatever you want to call it. And then
yep.
when you go back to it, you just open up the thing and you go to the far right one, go to the far right one, and you have load. You just click on that, find that file, and it'll load everything in
It'll
there.
load everything right back up for the
Yeah.
next night.
The only thing I can tell you is if you do that, and this is important, if you do that, make sure you either do it before you start your imaging process, or if it's later and you're doing it before after everything's done and you want to just do it later, you need to go to the top, go all the way to the top, all the way up,
Yep. No.
and hit the reload button,
Yes.
because then it takes away all these check marks
Yeah.
and it reloads everything.
Right.
Because if you save it without reloading everything, then it's going to save it as if this has already been done.
Yep.
And you don't want to do that, because
Exactly.
I've done it.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Because it's
you
going to think
definitely want
all
to do
this
that.
other stuff's been done. And it's going to go, what?
Yeah, for sure. So but like Dave is saying, once you start working within Nina and you start, because it's all basically this advanced sequencer is nothing more than a bunch of either instructions
Yeah.
or triggers
Yeah.
or loop conditions. And it's nothing more than just building blocks. They're nothing more than building blocks. You're building one block on top of another block,
Yeah.
So
And the
once
thing
you get the hang
is,
of it,
what you have to remember is your global triggers
yep.
or scroll back up a little bit. Yeah, scroll
Right up
back
here,
up.
your global triggers.
Well, now go back up further.
I'm at my very top. I'm at the very
Oh,
top.
you're at the top. Okay, so yeah, your global triggers, and then your once you get your target in there,
Yep.
um, you have your regular triggers, which is
Yep.
center after drift,
Yep.
meridian flip, and
Yep.
restore guiding.
Yep.
Um, your autofocus after HFR and your autofocus after filter change, they can be in instructions. They don't have to be in your triggers.
Correct.
Those can be down in instructions, but your main trigger is this one right here, the meridian flip.
Yep. That one
You
right
have
there.
to have that set in there, and center after drift
Yep.
is always good. I think
Yeah.
restore guiding is. I don't know. Do you have to have that in there when you have center after drift, or does it automatically?
I think so. I think you still have to, because anytime the guiding is interrupted for any reason,
Oh, because of clouds or something like that.
yes,
Yeah. So yeah,
yes,
yeah. I guess you would. Yeah,
yeah. So you
yeah.
want to restore the
But
guiding.
those top three you would put in your triggers,
Yeah,
where the other and dither after exposure. But you put that in your. If you go down to your
yeah.
exposures, you put that in there.
I can put it
Oh,
down here,
oh.
but I
See,
set
I
mine at
I
0.
always put it in there, so I don't
Yeah,
I don't bother with that there.
yeah.
But the other two autofocus ones can be in your instruction,
Yes,
right
they can be
above
in
your imaging
instructions.
panel.
Yep, because
Yeah,
I could have gone right there. Go to my instructions. You go to focuser, and you can run your autofocus right there.
yeah,
Right off the bat.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, if you wanted to do that right there from those instructions. Yeah.
But yeah, it's such
So
a great tool, and
it
it's
is.
once you work with it, once like I said, if you go on Patriot Astro and you watch his videos and you just start playing with the stuff, and his templates are really straightforward and simple to use, man, it's just it makes it easier. It makes it literally like bang, 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 you're done.
Yeah.
That looks good, Eric. That's your horse head there.
Yeah, it's a horse head. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and this is, yep, HA.
That's gonna look cool when you're done.
Yeah. It looks a little hazy.
I was gonna say, you getting are
So
you
I'm wondering
getting
if I'm
some
getting some
mist,
high clouds or some mist
high
or
clouds, or
yeah.
you got
There's
dew
something.
heaters on that thing?
Yeah, there's a dew heater on there.
Okay, so you shouldn't. It's not dew.
So yeah,
Maybe a little high cloud, maybe
yeah,
a
it could
little
be some high
haze.
clouds right now. Yep. And the AVX, my AVX has always
Which
been,
your HFR looks good though. 188. That's
yeah,
pretty tight.
yep,
But you're using that 135,
yeah, yeah,
so they should be
yeah. So it's all good. So
good
my
looking.
guiding is always with
Good
the
looking focus curve.
yeah, it's a good focus curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is working out pretty well with this now that I've started to get things locked in more. Just this AVX. I
Yeah,
mean,
your
the AVX
guiding is
is
woo boy.
yeah, yeah. It's like well over. It's almost 2 arc seconds.
I would be shitting. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me. I'd be
But the good thing is, but I'll tell you this, the only, you know what, but using this with such a wide field
yeah.
for 135, it's not as bad. This number, it's not as super critical. It's
No, it's not.
important, but it's not as super critical as if I
No.
was using, a much, smaller as far as aperture,
Yeah. But
versus
I'll bet that AVX is like the EQ6. It wants a heavier load.
yeah, probably so.
I'll bet you put a heavier load on it, it'll be it'd work much better.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my EQ6 is like that. I mean, with the 80 millimeter on there, I mean,
uh-huh.
it's good. It's like 0.75, zero point 0.8. But if I put my 127 or if I put my RC8 on there,
Uh-huh.
with everything attached to it, man, the thing's like 0.5, zero point 0.6.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is it doing that well with that heavy load? But
Yeah.
it seems to like the heavy load.
Yeah. I am this setup that I'm using. This is the Rokinon 135 with the ZWO ASI 533 mono with Antlia Edge 4.5 nanometer HAs and stuff like that. Yeah, and exactly, Tom. As long as the stars are around, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because if you look at this, stars around.
Yeah. And I bet, another thing, Eric, I bet if you ran the guiding assistant,
Yeah,
it would have you make changes for that
it
load
probably would.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it probably would. So right now, like I said, with this being such a wide field, it's a bit more for the guiding is can be a bit more forgiving.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's all. That's what I'm saying. So yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing here.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I need to share it again anyway. Let me, but
And not for nothing, I will say that mine and Eric's color scheme on Nina kills Dan's. I
I
know
can't
he's not
handle
here
that
to
purple,
defend
bro.
himself, but that
I can't
purple,
handle that purple,
oh my
man.
goodness
Gosh,
gracious. Jeez, Dan, come on, man.
I cannot do that purple, man. Okay, I got to share my screen here again because we have to announce our winners.
Oh, yeah.
So let me share here. All right. So first off, we are going to go to our all polls. Excuse me here. And we are first going to select our image of the week for our experience brackets. Because there was only one entry for the novice, that image is automatically going to go to our image of the month contest for February. But we did have only 28 votes. All right, guys, come on. I don't know what we got to do here.
For the
But
experience bracket.
but for the
Wow.
experience, we only had 28 votes.
It was a hard one to vote on, but man, you would think
Yeah.
maybe people just said, I can't vote for any of them. I'm out.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Because they were all so good. They were just like, I can't
Who
vote for
knows?
anyone.
But we are going to find out now who is the winner for February 21st. And the winner is this a tie?
It looks like a tie.
It is a tie between Hickson Group 44 by Greg Meyer
Yeah.
and the M31
Chris's
9
M31.
panel mosaic by Chris Fierksen.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were both
11 votes
incredible.
apiece. They were both very good. I mean, Bernard's Loop by Wilfredo, it was awesome as well.
They were all
they were
three
all
amazing.
fantastic. But to have, another tie, okay, so both of these images will go to image of the month for February. All right. So now let's go back to the polls. And we are going to first go to the image of the month for novice. We had 25 votes for novice. And the winner is Sharpless 308 by Brian Vinci. So congratulations there, Brian. So that was a great image as well. So congratulations.
Which one was that?
That one, if I go here
Sharpless
to,
308.
yeah, that was the dolphin.
Oh,
The dolphin
yeah,
head.
yeah.
So if I go here back to the library, I can
Yeah.
bring it up here really quick.
That was awesome.
Here we are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nope. I'm sorry. That was
Oh, that's not it?
no. No. Was it? I think it was Sharpless 308.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
Sharp.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing image.
So, all right. Now let's go back to our poll. And let's see for image of the month for January for our experience. We had 92 votes. Good turnout there. 92 votes. And the winner is for image of the month for January of 2025.
Yeah.
Dr. Meyer, Greg
Yeah.
Meyer, the Flying
Yeah.
Dragon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, you like the ass what I thought. Congratulations there, Greg. Congrats. So going back here, let's take a look at that image.
This is awesome.
And
Right there.
there you are.
Yeah.
There it is. So congratulations there, Dr. Meyer.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very nice indeed.
Very nice. I've taken this one. It's a challenging one too. It's challenging.
Well, he's taking him from the Starfront.
Yeah, from Starfront.
So, he's
So
it's his equipment. I guess
yeah,
you can't argue with that.
can't
But
argue with that. Cannot
taking it from
argue with
a
that.
B1 Sky
Yeah, can't argue with that. So, but no,
makes
still,
life a lot easier.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Yeah, if that's novice, that needs to move. Yeah, I know, right? So, but no, congrats again to our winners. And don't forget, if you want to have a chance to maybe win some, a gift certificate or a gift card from Astroworld telescopes to get some new gear, all you got to do is enter. You can enter into the novice bracket if you're new to astrophotography and you're just getting your feet wet and you're saying, hey, I like to get, some new gear, to add on to what I've got going on right now. I want to make some improvements. I want to get better. All you got to do is just drop in your image, drop in one of your favorite images that you're happy with and go for it. You never know what can happen.
Nope.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to take a look at something here really quick. And this is so yeah, I mean, congrats again. And no, and I think I was wrong. Sharpless 308 by Brian Vinci. Let me take a look at this. I may have selected the wrong photo.
Oh, there was another. Oh, you know what? You're right. There were two of them, I think.
Yeah. So let me, no, I don't want to give out the wrong information here. And here we are. Yeah, here it is. Let me share. This is the correct one. And let me go back here. Let me share my screen here really quick.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that was also same
here
thing.
We go.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
This is the correct one. This is Brian's. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
But still, nonetheless, this is still a great shot.
Still pretty awesome. Yeah.
That is still very good. And you just did that. He just did that recently, just last month. He did that with his 2600 MC and a C8 with a Hyperstar. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. But again, all right. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here. All right. But that's it as far as a lot of other things. Congratulations again to everybody, to our winners. I'll get to work on posting these, getting these up and, onto the websites and getting our new poll, or at least entrance. You can, start adding in your images tomorrow morning for our last image of the week for February. So I can't believe we're already toward the end of February.
I know.
It's
but
crazy.
That means it's going to get warmer. Thank God.
Please. Yeah.
Please get warmer.
So great show. Thank you guys all for joining us and hanging out. Hope you got a bit of content out of this with Nina and everything else and all the other stuff we're chatting about. Again, we look forward to having Dan Llewellyn on, soon to give us some information, tips, and instructions on planetary imaging. And I'm sure that's going to be an awesome, awesome show. I'm looking forward to meeting Dan and actually learning quite a bit from him. So it'd be really, really great. So, Dave, final thoughts on anything, before we get out of here?
Final thoughts are, Jackie, let me know if you still have issues. There's got to be a way to work it out somehow, whether, through using a different driver. I'd have to research it. Dan might know because he does a lot with the Player One stuff, so
Yeah.
he might know. I don't know myself because I don't use Player One, and I've never had an issue with ZWO when using two of their cameras. So, other than that, I hope using Nina helps people because I love it. I think it's the best software out there for capture.
For free, too.
Yeah. And the thing about it is if you are using Nina, I recommend using the nightly because it's constantly updated. Granted, you go on the site, it says unstable, but I've never had an issue with their nightly. It's always works flawless, and you constantly are getting updates one after the other. Every couple of days, I'll go on and bam, there's another update. Bam,
There you
there's
go.
another update.
Yeah.
And it just they're constantly working on it. So it's great, great, great software, great equipment.
Cool. Yeah. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, Jackie, hopefully we can help you figure out what's going on to help you get your guiding back to the way it should be. So, definitely keep us posted, drop some updates in the Discord channel, all that stuff. Again, Dan, I hope you're having a great time, at Jeff Dunham and all that stuff and hanging out with
Peanut.
Peanut and all those guys.
Hopefully Ahmed hasn't killed
Ahmed,
him.
and Jose Jalapeno
On a stick.
on a stick. So, hey Wayne, glad you're able to make it, buddy. So again, thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you guys here next Wednesday, same time, same channel. And as Dan always says, just don't forget to keep imaging, keep educating, and have clear skies. And we'll catch you guys later. Take care.
See you, everybody.